Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
So now we're going to do the review of Cascadia. Hopefully you've had a chance to check out our how to play and playthrough video. So this is a set collection tile laying game. So let's take a look at how that works. The game that we just finished is right here. So you'll see that we place tiles around our starter tile here. Our starter tile is a three-piece tile, and as you put down tiles, you'll put down animal tokens, and you're going to score points based on what cards you play with. And so we're playing with set A cards, but you see there's a whole bunch of different, you have the family variant, you have set B, C, and D. So you have all different types of versions you can play. But for instance, foxes score here if they have other animals around them that are different. Bears score in pairs. Hawks score if they're alone, no other hawks nearby. Salmon score if they are connected to each other, but they have to be in a line. They don't have to be straight across like the elk. Elk has to be a straight across line, so that's why these three here, for instance, you can see it off the edge, scored 9 points. So you can see when we played the game, we scored our animals based on the cards that we played with, and then you score for placing tiles. So for instance, I had all these forests connected here, and we both had 10 forests. And if you can get bonus points if you have the most. So I had the most here, most mountains. And so that was a bonus of 2 points. And whoever has the most points wins. So there's a little bit of drafting in the game. So you'll see here that when you're playing, you'll have a choice of four choices. You can either take as a pair like this, or you can spend a nature token to take one wildlife token and one habitat token out of sequence. So, and then as you take them, you just add them to your habitat, as you see here, and then you're basically going to get 20 turns each in a 2-player game. So that's just a quick little overview of the game, and it does include other options for solo play. Like I said, the family variant. It even has a campaign mode, which is really cool, which I'll just show you real quick, which is unique for a game like this because it's light. It's a light game, but it includes a lot of replayability. So if I show you, here's where you keep track of your points over the campaigns. And this is all, and you can play 15 different campaigns, and it has different scoring goals like this one. Since we both scored over 80 points, we can mark that down here as meeting the goal for the first campaign, and then we'd go on to the second one. You'll see we play with the B's and the C cards and the D cards, and it mixes up. So it's pretty cool with that. So let's take a look at our review now.
Okay, I go first.
Okay, so I got to advance the
slide.
the slide here. All right, so here we go.
All right. I like this game a lot. I thought the components were, really good. The little tiles are nice and sturdy. You're not going to break them or anything. The art is beautiful on the cards. It's really, really nice. The first time I played it, the cards were a bit confusing, but this is the second time I played it, and I found them to be not as confusing. So David is showing you right there, like, how they have to be.
Yeah, we'll tell you in the text right here.
Yeah. So I didn't quite understand it the first time around, but this time around I got it a lot better, and I think the more I play this, the easier it'll come to me. But if you're used to, this kind of stuff, you won't have any issues at all. It plays really well with 2 players. I know that it's a 1 to 4 player, but 2 players, it goes fast, it's fun. I liked it. And it's a really fun tile laying game because you get to really pick the tiles that you want, and if you want, you can mix and match like David was showing in the beginning. And I just thought it was really fun. I liked it.
All right,
Yeah.
So we're going to give our rating here in just a moment.
Okay.
But first I got to give my reasons.
Yes, let's see what you have to say for yourself.
Okay, so beautiful card art. Remember, we come up with these reasons separately. We don't know what we're going to say. So if we have similar things, it's not because we conferred beforehand. Quality components. So this is a little bit higher end than other games. So if you'll notice here, for instance, you got nice thick wood, and it's a nice I don't know, silk screen, I guess you would call it.
I don't know, but it's really pretty.
And the tiles are nice and thick, you know.
You're not afraid you're going to damage anything.
Right. I mean, some games are really thin, but
Yeah.
this is decent quality, and the cards are it does have a light foil stamping on it.
Oh.
Yeah, you can see the little pattern in it. That's a
Oh,
foil
neat.
stamp, by the way. That's
Oh, I never noticed.
yeah, but that's again, that's in the bag. It's nice and big, where you can put your hand in it. I mean, some games you get the bags are too small.
Even for my little
And,
hands.
and then they start shedding on the inside. There's no shedding in this one.
No.
So again, they did a good job with that. So it's high replayability. I showed you all the different games you can play and different cards. You know, if you like this game, you're going to get a lot of play out of it. If it's too light for you, you'll be like, it doesn't matter how many options it has because it's not your thing.
Right.
But if you like this game a lot, you're going to get a lot out of it. So it's accessible for emerging gamers. What I mean by that is that if you can handle Carcassonne and games like Catan and Ticket to Ride, you can handle this. Now, there's some people that they might have a hard time dealing with this unless someone shows them how to play.
Yeah.
Okay, those are people who've only grown up like with Sorry and Yahtzee. You know, the really simple games. It doesn't mean they couldn't handle it.
Right.
It's just that
They haven't been exposed to it yet.
right. It's just that this is a great. They would call this a gateway game. I think this, if you play just with the family variant, I would say that if you just play with the family variant, I would say that this should be accessible for anybody. Okay, but because it doesn't lead with that in the rules, it's buried in the rule book, you won't know that this is an easier way to play. So if they would have said for your first game, play with the family variant, then I would say anybody can play this game.
I wonder why they didn't start with that.
I don't know. I just didn't think of it.
Yeah.
Just didn't think of it. But because you are starting out with this different kind of tile laying, if you can handle Carcassonne, you can handle this. If they were to start out with this, then I would have said, it doesn't matter if you play Carcassonne, you can handle the game.
Yeah.
So just, this little minor thing, you might have wanted to put that somewhere earlier in the rules. Okay, so it does have some educational connections, but it's more math and science. Now, can you have a conversation with students? Again, this would be more enrichment. After you're done playing, you can say, why do you think hawks are separated? You can talk about the different habitats here, and you could tie it in to this part of the world where it takes place, which is the northwest part of the United States and Canada. So again, that's more enrichment though, because I couldn't say that without teacher intervention, kids won't make these connections necessarily on their own. You would have to have a discussion afterwards. That's why I say enrichment, that if you're doing a wildlife unit, that you could have this as an option for kids to play as an extension when they're done with their other work, or if you're in a pull-out situation or an after-school club, you could have this and then have a conversation about it. But could you be the driving force behind a lesson? Likely not.
Oh.
Because the connections are there, but they're not that strong. Okay, I could not. I couldn't lead with this as a lesson. It would be, as I said, enrichment. I know I'm repeating myself.
That's okay, Annie.
But anyway, so there is educational connections. Now the math is definitely strong.
Oh, yeah.
There's definitely logical, mathematical type things here when you're scoring and adding it up. So there's more math connections. So if you wanted to tie this to a science unit and connect it more with math and do a thematic unit, you would get more math standards out of this than you would science standards.
Gotcha.
But if your supervisor were to walk in and say, why are they playing this game? You could tie it to science, but you could tie it stronger to math. So it does have some limited player interaction, and again, it's a neutral, because it's you're just basically denying each other. Now, you can't see what Julie did on her camera. If I really wanted to pay attention and deny her something because she's going for a pair of bears or for more salmon, or I don't want her to get as much forest as me, I'm sure there's people that would be analyzing that and doing counting, and then you'd get that analysis paralysis where they're going to go, well, if I take this tile for myself, I'll score points. But if I deny this tile for Julie, she'll lose 2 points. But then, there's people that will do that. That's fine if they want to.
Yeah.
But we don't like to. if we notice something, well, of course we'll do it.
Right. But we don't intentionally go out to do it.
Right. So that's why it's limited player interaction. I'm sure there's some people that would go out of their way to be more of a denier.
Right.
And take more time and study everything.
And that's just not us.
So maybe the player interaction would go up a little bit if you play with people like that.
Probably.
But
I think it would take the game make the game longer.
Oh, it definitely would take the game longer unless they have a genius level IQ where they can see it right away. There are some people like that.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
That they would see it right away.
I'm not one of them.
They can calculate it that quick, and the game flow would not slow down.
Yeah.
But most people, they would have to sit there and go
really
back and forth.
I don't think I really looked at your thing. Even when it was on the camera, I don't think I really paid much attention to it.
I was looking at yours, but I didn't care.
Oh.
I was like, I knew what you were going for. It was like,
You're so cute.
I was more interested in what I wanted. So that's why the player interaction is more like, well, yeah, I can maybe do that to Julie, but I'd rather get something that helps me.
That's why I was just really concentrating on mine. I barely even looked at yours. So when you said you had a pair of bears, I had to look up and like, oh yeah, you do. You do.
So
I didn't even pay attention.
I was more concerned about doing what I wanted. Not maybe with more plays, you know. Oops.
Maybe more players?
More plays, we'd be more concerned about denying each other. I don't know. I just don't think it's that type of game.
And we don't really play mean anyway, so.
Well, we try to avoid games like that.
Yes, we do.
All right, so how did we rate it?
I think we both rated it the same.
We did.
We did.
We rated it a 7.
Yes.
And that means that maybe with more plays, it would go up to an 8, 9, or 10. But at this point, with the number of plays that we have under our belt, it's going to be on our shelf. It's going to be a game that we'll look over. We'll come to the top of the list when we're in a mood for a tile laying game set collection with some draft components. So for us, if you've been watching our reviews, we don't give 8, 9s, and 10s that often because we just haven't played the games that much.
Yeah.
The longer we've had a game, the more likely it is to be an 8, 9, or 10.
True.
Or the longer we've had a game and it has dust on it, it might be a 6 or 5 because we just don't play it that much.
Yeah, exactly.
But this could definitely rise up over time.
And I think it'd be something fun maybe to try with the kids and see, like, with more players, even our friends that we play, like once a week or whatever.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely bring it to a game night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to play with more players. Right now we've only played with 2 players. Yep. So I think that you really can't plan your turns ahead of time anyways, even with 2 players. And I bet you with 3 or 4 players, you definitely can't plan.
You definitely couldn't.
Because what's going to happen is
you're going to get your heart set on something, and then it's going to go.
When you draft this, Julie takes this, new tile will come up, and a new token, okay? And then, let's say Eddie goes, our son, he takes this, and then this comes up.
And Ariel, his girlfriend, goes and takes something else.
And then somebody might use a token and wipe all these out, and then draw 4 new ones. So really,
I think it'd be harder, actually.
Maybe
a little bit more frustrating.
I just still think it's just going to be what it is with 3 or 4 players. I don't think there's going to be that much of experience. I guess what I'm trying to say is not going to be much of a difference experience between 2, 3, and 4 players. I don't think so.
You're probably right.
Okay, because you're still going to play 20 tiles.
Yeah.
You'll see here that depending on the number of players, you're going to play with less tiles. So we're not playing with all these tiles here.
Right.
If you look at the rule book here, let's see, with 4 players, you only remove 2 tiles.
That's it?
Yeah, so you're still going to play with 20 tiles each. So you always play with 20 tiles, no matter if it's a 2, 3, or 4 player game. I don't know how it changes for solo. So
maybe only play with 10.
I doubt that.
I doubt it
Anyway,
too.
so that's Cascadia. So we do recommend it.
Oh, definitely.
And especially if you're looking for something to play with younger people.
Right.
And like I said, it's definitely good for developing math skills, enrichment for science, to have those conversations. And if you're a fan of the outdoors,
You'll
it makes me
definitely
wonder,
like this.
our neighbors who go outdoors a lot, I wonder what they would think of this.
Yeah,
game.
we should play it with them because they love to camp and fish.
Well,
and
they lived in Alaska.
They did
for a
live in
while.
Alaska for years, yeah.
So I bet you they drove through that area.
They probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's Cascadia. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.